let me introduce to you the all-new Redmi Note 8 Pro. The Aura design, a 64 megapixel quad camera array, and of course, it is a performance monster. Now, Aura design is not just how it looks. Design is also how easy it is to hold, the entire ergonomics, and while doing all of that, how do you retain the entire functionality? Now, with Aura design, we are taking that to the next step. But first, let me show you how good this looks. So introducing the first color of the all-new Redmi Note 8 Pro, and we are calling this color the Gamma Green. Now that is the Gamma Green. We've got one more color that all of you guys loved. And we've recently started experimenting with that. And that is the all-new Halo White. We have an all-new Shadow Black as well. You get Gorilla Glass 5 at the back as well as the front. For the very first time on the Redmi Note series, we've got an IP52 rating. Now this is a huge, huge deal. Now this obviously protects you against dust and splashes, but the entire protection has been stepped up even further. This perhaps is the only phone in its segment to have this rating. Now we've got an immersive display when it comes to Aura design, and this one is again a step forward. Proud to say that this has the highest screen to body ratio that we've ever seen in this segment at 91.4%. What you had is a large 6.53-inch full high definition display. It supports HDR. It's brighter than ever before. Of course, you've got all the quality assurances. You've got Gorilla Glass 5 at the front as well as the back, but it's a special one at the back because it's got a four-sided curvature, and it comes in these three awesome looking colors. Now that's the Aura design. Let's get into the 64 megapixel part first. You've got a primary 64 megapixel sensor, and that sits right in the middle. But along with that, for the very first time on a Redmi Note series, we've added a wide angle. In fact, it's ultra wide at 120 degrees. Not just that, another first, and perhaps my favorite camera in this entire setup, is a macro lens. And macro lens is quite interesting because it lets you see things that your normal human eye cannot. You see a lot more details, and to see those, you want to get really, really close. And we've enabled a 2-centimeter focal distance, letting you go really close. It's perhaps the best in the industry, and you get that on the Note 8 Pro. Of course, the Note series, right from the Redmi Note 5 Pro, has been known for portraiture, and you get that with a depth sensor as well. And that completes the 4 cameras that you're getting on the Note 8 Pro. We also have upgraded the front camera. The front moves from the 13 megapixel. So I clearly see one group which really loves selfies. Of course, with this 20 megapixel front camera, you get all of our AI enhancements, and you also get face unlock. We think with the Redmi Note 8 Pro, you get a flagship quad camera experience. Performance. Now, what we realized at Xiaomi is something remarkable happened earlier last year. You started getting high resolution, high graphics, almost PC-like games onto smartphones. In fact, let me show you a couple of benchmarks first. What's really interesting is, even after all of that, and even after almost 8 to 9 months of launching the Redmi Note 7 Pro, that still continues to beat all of them. Now, we already have a lead, so why do we need to change it? Well, we are Xiaomi, and we obviously believe in pushing it to the next level. So on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, you get a 34% bump in performance, taking it to the next level. At 280,000 plus score, there's nothing else in and around which can even come close. And this has been possible thanks to the Helio G90T chipset. If you're playing PUBG, you can go all the way to extreme. That is 60 frames per second on the smooth setting. And because this display supports HDR, when you have HDR enabled, you can go all the way to ultra. So you can game better, you can work better, and of course, there's a lot of performance that's under the hood. So how do you keep it cool? Again, a first for the segment, perhaps the only phone in the world below $300 to offer liquid cooling inside the phone. And we've got one new surprise for our gamers. For the first time ever on the Redmi Note series itself, we are introducing Wi-Fi X antenna. Now what happens? Let me explain this. When you're holding the phone and you're playing, all the antennas are normally around the frame. Yes? So when you're holding it, and suppose by any luck you made it to the top 10, now you're holding the phone even tighter. Now that's obviously going to block some Wi-Fi signal. The Note 8 Pro intelligently detects that and has a secondary Wi-Fi antenna and seamlessly moves that Wi-Fi connection to the Wi-Fi X antenna, so that when you really need it, you don't have any loss in the signal, and hence your overall latency also stays better. And this obviously is a very, very gaming focused feature, and hopefully all you gamers are going to absolutely love this. Also, this is the first time ever on the Redmi Note series, right from 2014 when we got started, we are introducing a dedicated micro SD card slot. We are changing the battery size to a 4500 mAh. Now with this battery, you can go all the way, to, I think I jumped. You get a 2-day battery, and you also have 18-watt fast charging support that comes on the Note 8 Pro. And the charger comes in the box. So the Note 8 Pro upgrades the country's best-selling series across all parameters. You get a 64 megapixel quad camera versus the 48+5 dual camera setup that we had. You get wide angle, you get a macro lens. Of course, not just that, you have a 34% improvement in pure performance. You have that covered with liquid cooling technology, so it stays cooler as well. You've got a larger battery and you've got a faster charger built in the box itself, and we've also upgraded the design. You've got all new colors as well as a 4-sided curved Gorilla Glass 5 back. Now, all of this is absolutely phenomenal. The Redmi Note 8 Pro is the first device in India to be built with Alexa right out of the box.
We will start with only 6 GB, 64 GB, because this is the minimum that our Pro users demand from us. And we said this 6 GB, 64 GB should be launched at only 14,999. And then we have 6 GB, 128 GB at 15,999. And for Ultra Pro users, we have 8 GB, 128 GB at 17,999. So that's the ultimate beast, Redmi Note 8 Pro for you guys. A lot of industry first with G90T, first with Alexa built-in, world's first 64 megapixel, and a lot more, starting as less than 15,000 rupees.